right, getting set up for the pre-show tonight. Let's see. Let's see if we're on Facebook. Check. Let's see about YouTube. Come on, YouTube. Alright, we're on YouTube, and now I'll pull up the chat page, and we got a minute to go before we start. So that's a good thing. I'll start off the first chat of the evening. Alright. How are we doing? Vicky says hi, Brian and Ava. Alright, well, hey, Vicky. Glad you could join us. We're actually about to start here in what? About 30 seconds. So I'm just testing the waters, making sure everything's set up all right before we actually begin. Corpus says, hello, humans. Well, hello. Thanks for joining us. And let's see, about 15 seconds to go, and then we'll start this baby up. All right, everything looks like we've got everything running smoothly here. I believe so. 8 o'clock, time to begin. Alright, I'm back. I was trying to share these to different pages here on Facebook while I'm doing this. So this is kind of neat. Getting more and more used to all this stuff. Looks like Ava shared my video here. Okay. All right, looks like we're up and running, folks. I'm Bryan Hogue. Thanks for joining me tonight on this the Chiller Night Live pre-show on this Saturday night. I do this every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I do, I basically talk about the schedule for tonight, coming up at 9 p.m. on Stream TV. That's at streammedia.tv, streammedia.tv. And what we have tonight is Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat. Chiller Night Theater is a hosted horror program. We play old classics and not so classic movies of yesteryear, hosted by Jack Shadow, and also featuring the characters Aura the Witch and Elle the Vampire, and also Chiller Chat. Now, Chiller Chat is my weekly talk show where I talk about topics of horror, science fiction, and the paranormal. And occasionally professional wrestling creeps in there every once in a while. But let me show you tonight's schedule. Let me put this. Oh, I better put the chat on. Oh, here we go. All right, Corpus says. Oh, Cassandra says hi. And hey, Cassandra. Corpus says showtime. Ava says hello, Corpus, and puts a little the old little St. Patty's Day 4-leaf clover. Brad says it's the Chiller Night pre-show with Bryan Hogue, starring Bryan Hogue, and now here's Brian. Yes, I am here with you once again for the Chiller Night pre-show. And Nick says what's up? And then Brad says happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I guess most people would be celebrating it tonight, wouldn't they? And then David says, chilled champagne, popped and poured. Buddy goodness with Chiller Night pre-show. Bubbly goodness. Oh, cool. Very cool. Good. Glad to hear it. And Brad says, the leprechaun is out to get you, Brian. LOL. That's right. Remember those Leprechaun movies with Warwick Davis? What got me was Leprechaun in Space. I think they got a little... well, they did a Jason in Space, so remember that? Jason 10 or Jason X? Corpus says, okay, wait, isn't tomorrow St. Patty's Day? Yes, it is. But I would imagine that the festivities and all that good stuff is going on tonight. I would imagine. I would have wore green if it would show up, but it won't. Not with the chroma key. I'd be invisible, which would look kind of strange. Then Ava said, just a day early. Yes. John says, hello again from New Jersey. Hello, John. Thanks for joining us once again from New Jersey, and all of you who are joining me from various parts of the states. I really appreciate you joining me. Corpus said, Ava, I've been sick all day. Thought I was getting confused. Well, we don't want that. We don't want that. Well, I hope you get the feeling better. And hopefully this will help you feel a little better. Now, this is the schedule tonight starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 p.m., the movie on Chiller Night Theater, Jack Shadow features Atom Age Vampire. Then at 11 p.m., Chiller Chat. My guest is Russ Striner. Actually, that one, I'm not interviewing him. There was another fellow, Joe Johnson, who used to help out with the show, and he's actually going to be interviewing Russ at that time. And then this was several years ago. 11:30, Chiller Night Theater. The movie is Night of the Living Dead, and that was, of course, last week's feature movie, the one that we did live for the Friday Night Frights here earlier this month. 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is, of course, the late great Chilly Billy, Bill Cardell will be my guest. And then at 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater. The movie once again is Atom Age Vampire. So right there, I've added some of the living dead. You can see them yourselves right there, and shuffling and moaning and strutting their way across the screen, across the scheduling. So, all right, what do we got here? What am I missing? Kevin says, you've inspired me to watch some classics. We watched Motel Hell the other day. Creepy. Well, great. I'm glad I'm inspiring you to check out some of these older movies, some of the classics and not so classics of yesteryear. So that's cool. And then Tom said, oh God, zombies. And then Ava says, hope you get the feeling better and in time for tomorrow at that. Yes, hopefully so. And then John says, great movie. Corpus said, I have a feeling I'll be laying low, Ava. All good though. Just think of the money I'll save. That's true. Sometimes those nights out are kind of costly. And then Brad says, I hope everyone has their green limited edition Lucky Charm cereal. Sugar Rush, LOL. What was it? I saw somebody had doctored up a cereal box for Fruit Loops or something, and they made the...
Good evening.
Oh, hi, Siri. You know, no nothing like interjecting your way into the program. All right. I have no idea why she's doing that. Why are you doing that? Siri, why are you doing that? All right, now she won't answer. And then Cassandra says, I love Motel Hell. Yes, cool, very cool. Well, I'm glad you're checking these movies out. We have them here, and then the next one, Tom says, Siri answers to Fruit Loops. Yeah, that must be it. I don't even know what to say with that. Siri again, Brad says. Yes, Siri is needing attention, apparently, tonight. And Corpus says, Siri is creeping again. Yeah, strange things on the set of the Chiller Night Live pre-show with Siri. Jeez. Well, anyways, now we went over the schedule for tonight. I hope you stick around at 9 p.m. Hop on over to streammedia.tv where you can watch Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat all night long. It's crazy. It's all night long. from 9 p.m. Eastern Time until about 3:30 a.m. I think that's about accurate. And then Nick says, I don't think I've seen that one. Oh, with Motel Hell. That one is, that might even be on YouTube. I could be wrong, but it might be on YouTube. You can check it out there, maybe. But anyways, that's what's going on tonight. Adam Age Vampire. I think you'll like it. And of course, last week's movie, Night of the Living Dead. So, the next Jack Shadow's Friday Night Frights coming up. I hope you guys like that idea. I think it's a really neat idea. I love the idea of live programming. I enjoy doing this, but even more so, I wanted to add the idea of Jack Shadow doing, actually doing a hosted horror show. So I hope that is. I'm getting very good views with that between Facebook and YouTube. Both of them combined, so I'm very happy with that. I'm getting more hits to visits to the website than I've ever seen since I've had the website, since I've had the show. So, obviously with all of you doing the shares of the video while it's streaming is helping substantially. I very much appreciate that. The next show that we'll be doing on Friday, April 5th, the next Jack Shadow's Friday Night Fright will be A Bucket of Blood. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. It's a pretty entertaining flick starring Dick Miller. Of course, Dick Miller was a character actor. If you don't know Dick Miller, you'll know him when you see him because he's been in tons of movies. He's been in the Terminator and the Gremlin movies, Piranha, The Howling, and of course the Tales from the Crypt movie, Demon Knight. So I love that movie, and just tons and tons of other movies. And of course, once again, we'll be presenting this, brought to you by Vicelli Pizza. So thank you, David Long, once again. And David's actually committed to several months in the future for these. For the Friday Night Frights. So very, very, very appreciative of the Vicelli Pizza store in Butler, Pennsylvania. Thank you once again, David Long. And let's see. Let me see where we're at here with the comments. Corpus says, Siri, she's like the ghost host or something. Yeah, it seems like she's wanting to be. Cutting in on me. And Kevin says, it's on Prime. Okay. And then Tom says, tonight's movie looks like another Italian Job. You're going to be blurring parts out again? Fortunately, well, you're right about that, but fortunately I didn't have to blur anything out of that one. So it came provided to us as a family-friendly program, at least family-friendly enough. And oh, Tom says Walter Paisley. Yes, Walter is the character that Dick Miller plays in A Bucket of Blood. Again, if you've never seen A Bucket of Blood, I really hope that you join us for Friday, April 5th for Jack Shadow's Friday Night Fright. It's a very entertaining movie. If it's got of course, that humorous edge to it, just like I don't know, like Spider Baby or something. It's a horror movie with that dark comedy to it. I guess you could say. Corpus says, well, not host, but sidekick. Jack Shadow won't tolerate such shenanigans. No. Siri's lucky that Siri's trying this with me. I mean, I'm a nice guy. Jack won't be so gentle on Siri. And then Tom says, was in tons of movies. He died the day before the second Friday Night Frights. That's right. He just died on January 30th. He just died. Just very recently. So that is, I think I got that right. Yeah, January 30th. I checked that out before I did this program here tonight. Cassandra has 3 little pigs. Okay. And then Corpus said, don't you mean smudging? Oh yeah, we need to smudge. Maybe that'll curtail series ghostly shenanigans. Cassandra says, "Yummy pizza." Ah. And then Tom says, "Yes, smudge muffin." Kevin says, "Cliff from Cheers is in the Motel Hell." LOL. Oh, Lizzie. I thought I saw him on other movies, kind of a background character. I thought for sure I saw him in The Empire Strikes Back, but I don't think that's him. If you know, I won't go off on that. That's really sidetracking, but yeah, Cliff from Cheers. Brad says, wasn't he the gun shop owner who got killed by the Terminator? Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but Ava says, "Who's saging?" That's right up Ava's alley. She's all into that stuff, so whoever's saging, she wants to know. Wants to know what's going on here. Brad says, "And don't you feed them after midnight?" No, or what are some of the don't get them wet? That was another thing that was a mistake with the gremlins. Okay, now I want to talk to you about. This was an idea that was brought up this week about adding a Chiller Night Fan of the Week. I think it's kind of a neat idea. Let me just throw this up here. This is just a sample, folks. Just a sample. Where is it? Oh, like on Stream TV. This would be like playing, you know, in the spaces in between the shows. You would see this pop up. You know, Chiller Night Fan of the Week. I'm using Dracula from Pittsburgh. Of course, everyone knows Dracula is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania instead of Transylvania, but we're using this as our sample Fan of the Week, just to give you an idea. But that would be, we'd actually show that on Stream TV in between, you know, the programs and the filler time between the programmings. And I'd mention it on social media, and of course it'd be on the website. We're getting lots and lots of views on this website, so you'd be all over the place and known throughout throughout the Chiller Night viewers. And then Nick says, "Or get water on them." You're right, with the gremlins. Tom says, "Who here has a new tanning bed?" Hands, please. And then Corpus said, "Well, I was talking about the blurring on the movie, but I sage Ava." Oh, okay, all right, I see what you're saying. And then Cassandra says, "Motel Hell made human sausage out of the travelers." Ooh. Is that one public domain? I don't know if it is. I'll have to check. Maybe that's one we can play on here sometime. But as far as the Chiller Night Fan of the Week, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? If you want me to start that up, we can start it as soon as next week. Let me know. And then if so, I'll pose the question here. How do we choose the Fan of the Week? What constitutes the Fan of the Week? So we'll see. I thought, jeez, thought my watch was going to start talking to me. Okay, I thought I was missing comments, but anyways, let me know. Let me know. Tom says highest bids. All right. Now you're talking. Corpus said, "But he used preservatives, the cheater." Oh, the human sausage. And then Brad says, "No, Motel Hell." Yeah, I just wonder if that is if that's public domain. That'd be kind of neat to play that one. Speaking of movies for the Chiller Night Friday Night Frights, we're gonna have to have another vote here soon. I want to know which movies you guys want to see. So if you start throwing them out in the comments, that's fine too. We can do it that way. You can be, you know, maybe we'll have another poll. The only thing I didn't like about the poll, again, I find this stuff out as I'm doing it a lot of times, which is the case most of the time. it only let me put 2 up. I thought, well, I can at least put 5 on there, and then we'll go from there. But it didn't let me do that. It only let me put up 2 last time. So, Tom says Motel Hell is 1980. Seems a bit recent for public domain. It does, but there are actually some that are in the 80s that are public domain. Not many like the normal batch that we pick from, but there are a few. So Ray Aiken says top fan. Oh, hey Ray, thanks for joining us tonight. And Corpus said, I don't think it, but that, about being public domain, but that would be a fun one. Yes. And then David said Horrors of Spider Island. Okay, all right, well, you did mention that before, so I'll have to bring that one. I'll write that down. Ray says, bring back the haunt, Brian. Well, actually, I am this year. That's the plan anyways. It'll be in Harrisville, Pennsylvania, which, if some of you aren't from around here or northwest Pennsylvania, that is about an hour north of Pittsburgh. So that will be where my haunted house will be, or at least that's what I'm planning on right now anyways. Kevin says, we can fight for the title. Oh, that'd be cool. Like an old Star Trek episode, and throw each a weapon to duel it out. Thomas says, hello everyone. Hey Thomas, thanks for joining us. We're probably sounding a bit strange right now, but I'm glad you joined us here tonight. And Ray says from Missouri. Is that where you're at right now? And then Ray says, awesome. Thomas says, if not Motel Hell, how about The Mad Butcher starring Victor Bruno? Okay, you know what? Let me find a tablet here. I'll start writing this down. Of course, I wouldn't have a tablet, anything that simple. All right, well, we'll get to, here's some paper here. Horrors of Spider Island. There's probably a more technical way that's a little more flashy and sexy to do this, but I'll just write it down on this piece of paper. The Mad Butcher. All right, we'll check into these. If we can play them, we'll look into this, and then we'll write down a list of movies here tonight, and then we'll have everybody vote on those. And then Ray says, yes, he moved to Missouri. Okay. And Tom says Star Trek episode, if we're lucky. More likely semi-pro wrestling style. Yeah. Hey, I could arrange that. And Corpus Christine says, take notes. And then Ava says, we're in the making, Ray, for the haunt. Okay. And then Ray says, all right, well, the witch took all your tablets to write down her wicked recipes with. Tom says, Fiend Without a Face. And then, is that the episode? Was that one of the episodes there? Or are you writing oh yeah, the movie Fiend Without a Face. That's right. I think I checked in on that, and it actually looked like that might be one within the public domain. Fiend Without a Face. That's right. I remember that. Cassandra said, love the Mad Butcher. Meat is meat. Nick says, I'd love to work at a haunted house. I'll do it just for the screams. Well, we're not. I mean, it'd be a distance for you, but you're welcome to. From the Seneca, Franklin, Oil City area. But you're very welcome to. Brad says, you'd be surprised at some very good movies, TV shows, even cartoons on public domain. Yeah. Oh, I know. I've scoured through the lists many, many times. Corpus said you can put a list app on your phone. Oh, for public domain? Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. I've just been doing it, Googling that and going to different, like, archive.org and different sites. There's a bunch of different sites I check from. You know which one I lost this week, though? Is, which one did I lose? The Last Man on Earth. It's still public domain, but YouTube, I think YouTube took it off of my channel, blocked it or something. They'll always come up with something. You know, there's like 15 seconds of this has music that someone's claiming, and it's getting harder and harder to do this. It really is. Let's see. Corpus said, or use the IMDb app to create a list of requests. Kevin says, Jack would write it down in blood. You're darn right he would. And then Tom says, movie. And I'm sorry, I'm sure that went with something. Yeah, the movie. And if you're new here, you know that while you're typing, there's like a good 10-second delay here. So that's why sometimes someone's writing something and it doesn't make sense because it's, I mean, in the way that I am reading it, but it makes sense at the time that they're writing it. And then Bob Book says, hello, everybody. Hey, Bob, thanks for joining us. Good to see you on the chat here. Corpus said, hey, Brian, how do you find out if something is public domain? Well, what I do, I normally check it out on, I normally Google public domain movies. I'll go to archives.org, and then I'll check out I'll just check out other sites that are listed as public domain movies. After I've done that, I check with at least 3 or 4 different sites, and then I jump on YouTube and see, you know, is it posted on YouTube? That's not a be-all, end-all of the search. Believe me, that's why that's my last little check mark, because there's a lot of stuff that's on YouTube that is not public domain. So, because I remember somebody had asked me to do the Night Stalker, and I said I can't do that. That's not, you know, as much as I love the Night Stalker. I can't do that. I wouldn't have the rights or permission to do that. But it's on YouTube. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube. It was when I saw. Let's see. Nick says, if I drive through Kennerdale, it would be about half an hour from Seneca. Okay, cool. Tom says, there are lawyers who do only that, I've heard. Yeah, it could very well be. I wouldn't be surprised. And then Ray says Carnival of Souls. I played that one. That got a flag too for some music that was playing on the radio in the car. So I mean, it's stuff like that, you know, that makes it. Even if the movie is in public domain, sometimes there's something in the background that is. I'm assuming there's some kind of metadata tag on it or something like that alerts somebody. I don't know. That's far too sophisticated for me. It used to be simple, but now it's getting a little more complicated to do these. Corpus said, no, I mean, you can use a list app for requests. I didn't know how to find out the public domain movies. Oh, I didn't know. I don't. If you tell me how to do that, I'll be happy to check that out. A list app. That sounds cool. Maybe you can message me about that, or I can get with you about that. That sounds like a neat idea. I love the idea. Brad says, Three Stooges is public domain. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Jeez. Yeah. And then Corpus says, I have no doubt. Cassandra is such a good movie. Corpus says, yeah, lots get on YouTube briefly and then pulled. Yeah. And well, the thing about that one, it's been on there. Like I have had The Last Man on Earth on there for years. And then Brad says every single thing before 1924 is now on public domain. David says Glenn or Glenda is public domain. That'd be an interesting one to play, wouldn't it? And Corpus says, hey, you know, if we do watch parties here sometime, like we were talking about last week, the public domain doesn't apply. Really? But okay, now my question is, because I've never done a watch party, not yet anyways, but I like that idea. Let me ask you this then. Maybe you know, maybe you don't, but we can look into it. But if we play something like that, Does it get taken off right away then? That's my thing. You know, we can do the watch party. That'd be cool. But as far as like a Friday Night Frights type of thing, I absolutely, you know, I want to leave that on, especially if somebody's sponsoring, you know, the episode. So, but if not, if that's not an option for Friday Night Frights, that's cool. We could still do the watch party. I think that's a neat idea. All right, where am I at? Linda says, "What's on tonight, Chief?" Aha! Well, we'll throw the schedule up here again here, and because it is almost 8:30, I'm amazed by how fast the time is flying. All right, Linda, the 9 o'clock movie is Atom Age Vampire, and then tonight at 11 p.m. the guest is Russ Streiner. Now, Russ, if you've never seen Night of the Living Dead, you can stick around at 11:30 and watch it. But Russ played Johnny, where they're coming to get you, Barbara, the jerk brother of Barbara. And then at 11:30, Night of the Living Dead, the one that we just did a few weeks ago, live. 1:30 a.m. My guest on Chiller Chat is the late and legendary Bill Chilly Billy Cardell. That's from a few years ago. And then at 2 a.m., Chiller Night Theater, of course, Jack Shadow features Atom Age Vampire. Okay, and the one with Russ Streiner was actually from, I do a little intro to that episode where I explain that it was actually years ago at the Latonia Theater in Oil City, Pennsylvania. And at that time, we had Russ Streiner come up, John Russo, and George Costanza, who played Sheriff McClellan in the movie. We had those three guys come up from Night of the Living Dead. They came up from Pittsburgh, and then as an additional guest, we had Nate Reagan, one of the costume consultants for the Scream movies, Scream 4. And then I've had Nate on the show after that to talk about the documentary he was in. But Russ is going to be interviewed by another individual. Joe Johnson had interviewed Russ that day. That was a tough day for me because I'd literally been awake for like 48 hours. I remember interviewing John Russo, and then Joe actually interviewed George and Russ, which was very helpful to me because I and that was the plan anyways all along. I interviewed Nate and John Russo, and then we each interviewed two people that day. We had live bands, we had it all set up like a talk show, we had a live audience, and that was really fun. That was a really neat thing to do. I'd love to do stuff like that more. And then missing comments. What are we looking at? Okay, I ended with Linda, and then Tom says it's public domain if no one has greased some palms within the beltway. Okay. Nick says episodes of Lost in Space or Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Oh, that I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but you got me there. I really don't know. It still fit in the theme of science fiction, so I mean, but Linda says, "Oh my gosh, Lost in Space, yes." And Corpus says, "Yes, it would only be a social thing for us." Oh, that's cool. That would be fun. That would be neat. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could pick an evening to make that kind of arrangement. Corpus said it won't stay on. Okay, that's cool though. I didn't know you could do that. Now, how do you get the video? How do you get access to the movie? That's my question. And then Brad says, "Look at those zombies, LOL. The ones walking across the schedule screen." Yes. Brad says, "That's awesome." Tom says, "Which Russ Streiner piece is that? The one with him on the stage?" Yes. Yes, it is. Yep. And so the audio is not quite as it's a little echoey. We're in a large theater, and the audio is not quite as sharp as I'd like it. And then Tom says, "Answered." Okay. Linda says, You know what I'd love to see? The Blob. I would love to see that too. I would love to see that. I've actually checked on that several times. With no luck of it being public domain, but we could do a watch. What do they call them? Watch movie or watch? Well, you know what I mean. That would be cool. We could do The Blob. We could do, yeah, we could start getting a list of movies that we'd like to see. David said, second glass of bubbly officially poured. The Indestructible Man with Lon Chaney Jr. is in public domain. I do know that. We played that one time for Sleepy Hollow Theater, and we might just have to play it again for Chiller Night Theater. And then Linda says, the Mummy, the old one, scared the crap out of me. Oh, the Mummy. Are you talking about the Boris Karloff? Yeah. Perfect movie. Nick says it's on right now. What's on right now? The Blob? I don't know. I'm sorry, there is a delay. We could have talked about 5 different things, and I'm just now seeing that one, unfortunately. Then Kevin says, Horror the Q.com. List of public domain horror movies by years. Oh, that's cool. Well, right there, Kevin provided a link there. We can check that out if you have any questions about some public domain movies. I've not looked at that particular site. I've been to, numerous sites, but I'll have to check that one out too. Dementia 13, I Bury the Living, Ray says. Yes, now I Bury the Living, for years and years and years, it was on the public domain list, but then it got removed off of YouTube. And which is a shame because I really enjoyed that episode. They took it off. They took it down, said it's no longer public domain. So that's another thing you have to look for is it's on, like some of these movies that are getting taken down are on the public domain list. That's why I kind of shop around. I don't just stop at one site. So it's a juggling act, and in some ways it really is. Chomp says watch parties. Okay, that's I forgot what it was called. Corpus says, I think one of us might have to host it from our page. I'll get hold of you about it. Okay, cool. That would be great. And then Bob says, I love the movie The Stuff. I've never heard of that one. Is that a horror movie? The Stuff. And then David says, The Corpse Vanishes. Yes, that's public domain. I do know that one. I see that often when I'm looking through the lists. Charles says, watch party. Oh, yes, Charles, I know you've held several of those. Bob says, The Stuff was a great blob type of movie. Oh, really? I wonder if that's public domain. That's just one of those, I don't know, those fun movies to watch. Linda says, yes, that's the one. Yeah, with Steve McQueen was in it, wasn't he? The original one. And then Brad says, if Facebook Watch doesn't apply for public domain, you can play non-public domain movies. And then Corpus said, thanks for the info. And then Nick said, The Mummy's on. Oh, The Mummy's on right now. Okay. And then, oh, that's what Linda was saying. Yes, that's one. Okay, all right. And Cassandra says, The Ghoul with Boris Karloff. We played that one a few weeks ago. And Tom says, now that I know more about David Silvio, I think I'm going to buy some stock in Bubbly. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. And then Linda says, no way, Nick, where? Oh, okay. About the Mummy plan. Corpus said, it's too bad it's not playing on Chiller Night Theater at 9 o'clock. Could you imagine that? I would love to play licensed movies. And the only way I can see that happening is if I get picked up by like a TV station that has those licenses, like Bill Cardell had that, with WPXI. They purchased those packets of movies, and then there was an agreement he could play. You'll hear about it tonight if you watch my interview with him, or I think that part is in that interview because I sat and I talked to him for quite a while, and I condensed it into the episode here for tonight. But he was telling me about how all that worked with the TV station. He could play the Mummy or Frankenstein or Dracula from Universal or the Hammer horror movies. He really liked those ones. But he could play all those because WPXI, the TV station in Pittsburgh, had the license to play that stuff. So we really, hey, maybe Jack Shadow will be on, you know, one of these TV stations in Pittsburgh one of these days, and we'll have that kind of arrangement. You never know. Michael says, for a watch party, I think we need to go back to the beginning. Karloff's original version, Frankenstein. Boy, that would be nice. That's a great movie. And then Corpus said, The Stuff, horror comedy. Okay. And then Nick says, Retroplex channel. Oh, all right. Well, that makes sense. The Retroplex. Linda says, looking now. Hot damn. Zebrex says, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And then Charles says, I did not understand how all the newer movies were on Facebook. Thanks for the info. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know about that either, because I'd be scrolling by and I'd see somebody watching one of the Friday the 13th movies or something like that. And so I was like, wow. And Michael says, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, LOL. Zebrick says, I love that one. Brad says, I thought that would be to play films that are non-public domain on Facebook. Watch. That's not a bad idea, really. No, that's a neat idea. I love this idea about the watch party. I think that's neat. Really cool. To play movies that we certainly can't be playing on Chiller Night Theater, at least not with the arrangement that I have right now. Share contest. Okay, I'm checking over my notes. I guess we were talking about the. I want to hit this once again. For those who are just jumping on now, I mentioned. Don't forget, April 5th, Friday, April 5th will be the next Jack Shadow's Friday Night Frights. We'll be playing A Bucket of Blood, and that movie will be brought to you by, at this point. There could be more sponsors down the road here, but our main sponsor is once again Vicelli Pizza out of Butler, Pennsylvania. So thank you to David Long once again for sponsoring. I know he's planning on sponsoring a list of these movies coming up in the months to come. So what am I doing? Oh, there we go. I'll put up their logo. Because he's supporting me so much. I think that's awesome. And then Corpus said that she got her picture, so that's cool. I'm very glad she got her photo. I don't know if Cassandra did, but those were mailed out earlier in the week. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, this photo right there. And Cassandra won Diana won the first month in February, and then Corpus won this month in March for Night of the Living Dead. Cassandra won the Crawling Eye, but they both received the DVDs of the show and an autographed picture of Jack Shadow. So, or I don't know if Cassandra got hers yet in the mail, but I know Corpus said she did. So I'm very happy to hear that. Brad says, oh, nope, I read that one. David says, The Wasp Woman, or Teenagers from Outer Space. We did The Wasp Woman. That was not too long ago on Chiller Night Theater. I'll have to play that one again soon. When did I play that? I actually have a list of when these were all played. Teenagers from Outer Space. I have not done that one. David says, you're welcome. And then Cassandra, A Cool Little Ghost Story is The Uninvited with Ray Milland. That would be a fun watch party. I think I read the book 10 times. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I like this idea. I really do. This is a neat thing. Maybe, and Corpus said, so Retroplex. Oh, the site that was mentioned for playing the Mummy? I think the Mummy. I almost said the Blob, but I think it's the Mummy. Tom says, you have a trailer for this evening's motion picture? Why, I certainly do. I certainly do. Atom Age Vampire.
You will freeze as you watch a warped scientist become transformed into a godless beast when his bloody scalpel probes the forbidden secrets of a woman's flesh. In Atom Age Vampire, you will flame to the stark ritual of a beautiful girl's last searing dance, as tragedy forever mars her loveliness, leaving her to face a world of terror.
I give you my word that I will restore your face, restore all your beauty.
You will cringe as the demented doctor experiments with a girl's trusting innocence. But to possess the living miracle wrought by his twisted genius, he must forever sacrifice his soul to the cunning gods of evil.
I'll transplant directly from another human being.
A mad creature born of the atomic age, now shackled to a world of rotting bodies and violent death. A sadist, a criminal, a depraved animal, more ferocious than Jekyll, more monstrous than Frankenstein, more bloody than Dracula.
Fire a volley through the window pane.
You will gasp as lust and madness stalk the dark and screaming night in Atom Age Vampire.
There we have it, folks. Atom Age Vampire. So, I hope you like that tonight. David says, love the usage of old trailers. I like that too. It just kind of puts you in the mood for what's to come here tonight. On the Saturday, the whole Saturday night chiller thing. I just love it. Love it, love it. Tom says, this looks like an awesome flick. Right down to the out of sync dubbing. Yeah, it's not a good horror movie not a good chiller movie if you don't have the dubbing off by a little bit. Gotta have that. Well, I will. I'm still thinking about this chiller fan of the week. I didn't get any feedback on that, but if you guys if you want me to do something like that, I would love to do that. I think that'd be fun. Get you guys even more interactive. Show a fan of the week. You know, like on Saturday nights. Like I could do it as soon as even next week on Stream TV. It could start then, and we just pick a fan of the week. The only question is, I'd kind of like to do that. I think that'd be a neat idea. The only question is, like, what would constitute a fan of the week? How would we pick them? Would we, you know, that's the only thing I have is what's a fan of the week? I will anxiously await your responses, but and then Brad says Super Friday Night Frights with Jack Shadow on Facebook Watch, perfect for Halloween time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something here for. You know, I might even have to have Jack Shadow hosting the show from the haunted house, you know. You never know. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? In October when that time comes. And then Cassandra says, not yet. Okay, you didn't get your photo and DVD yet, but it should be there anytime now. I'd look for it at least by Monday. You live closer than Corpus, but you never know how the mail works there. So you ought to be getting it by Monday, I would imagine. And Nick says, here, Comcast Channel 508. Corpus said, I did, and I promised to have a spooky pizza selfie next week for you when I'm not sick. All right, you send that, and then we'll present it here on the program, on the Chiller Night Live pre-show. And then Corpus says, yeah, is Retroplex a pay site? Aha, that I don't know. David says, love the usage of the old trailers. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I already read that. I did read that. How did I get back? David says, sweet trailer. Tom says, there has to be some criteria for the fan of the week. Yes, you would think. You know, we don't just let anybody in as a fan of the week. We go through a tough screening, you know. And Kevin says, Chiller Night fan of the week. Hey, there you go. And Corpus said, oh, you jumped over to YouTube. Okay, and then trying that out. And then Corpus said, wow, got booted for a second. What'd you do? And they're causing trouble. Brad says, it would be very cool to air something different on Facebook Watch. That it would. Linda says, oh, how about an old public service kind of thing? That's how you pick fan of the week. Oh, okay. I don't know. Think of some ideas. I think this would be fun. But let's, I mean, even if we don't choose the fan of the week, but in the next 12 minutes, can you believe it's coming up on 9 o'clock already? Maybe we'll just pick one throughout the week, unless somebody just throws out a name. Give me a name. We'll just get this thing started. But like I said, this is going to be a the fan of the week will basically be something like, it'll look much better because this is just something I threw together just right before the show here. This, you know, I'm sure it'll look a lot better than what I'm able to do here. I'm not very good with graphics necessarily, but this is just as a template to give you an idea, just to simply visually illustrate the point. So that was of course Dracula, who resides in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think we all know that. And then David said fan of the weeks with the most shares. Oh, geez. You know, I'm a little... yeah, you know what I feel bad about is the share contest, for example. Like Michael brought up last time that he tried to share it, and he very well could have. And, you know, the thing is, I realized is I don't know how you tell that on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like I felt horrible about that because, like, you know, if somebody shares it on YouTube... How, maybe somebody has an answer for me. I don't know, but how do I know that? How can I see that? Because I hate missing people. I would hate to miss people. I ought to just pick Michael. I ought to just pick Michael right now because he shared that and he didn't get the. Let's see. Fan of the week. David says a fan should send Jack Shadow a photo of themselves drinking. And Jack can pick the best drink. What? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we drinking anything. It doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage. I'm sure. I'm sure that's what you meant. But I can imagine. Okay. Yeah, we could do something like that. Corpus says definitely need to do fan of the week, and then. Brad says Child's Play Halloween on Facebook Watch. All those are good ideas. Corpus said fan of the week. Get your best spooky garb on for a selfie. And then Linda says, oh Lord, no. You know, that's the thing too. You know, whatever photograph you want to send for fan of the week. Now remember, this would not just go on. It wouldn't go on a Chiller Night Theater episode because I wouldn't have a way. There'd be no way for me to do that, but it would, just to make it clear, what that would be is you would actually be in between on Stream TV. This is on Stream TV. You would be in between the shows, like you'd be featured on the space in between the show. You know, like if there's some minutes before the show or whatever time, that empty time, they're showing, you know, the weather. They're showing ad slides and things like that. Well, you'd also show up as Chiller Night Fan of the Week with your picture. So you'd be seen by thousands of people, whoever's watching Fan of the Week. Plus you'd be featured on at chillernighttheater.com. You'd be featured on our social media sites such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So that could be a lot of fun. I think that would be kind of neat. And then Cassandra says Michael should be Fan of the Week. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a neat. I think that's a neat idea. Charles, I'm looking at this site, this link that you sent, Mashable.com article, Facebook watch party. Oh, that's how to do this, I take it? Okay. Brad says 10 minutes until Chiller Night Theater. Okay, we're at the 10-minute warning, in which we're really down to 8 because of the delay. And then Charles sent another link, which I think is the same one. Okay, cool. And then Tom says, I couldn't ever be the fan of the week. I'm way too shy to be seen by thousands of people on TV. I'm sure. Normally someone who says that is not shy. But anyways, I think this could be a lot of fun. What do we do here? Michael should be fan of the week. All right, let's just say Michael. If you want to be, Michael, let me know if you want to be next week's fan of the week on Stream TV. Let me know. We'd put up a picture, whatever picture you want, but keep it clean. And and David says Michael should be. Oh, I read that already. Okay, but I don't know. You tell me, Michael, if that's something you're interested. Because I don't want to push someone into like, oh, I don't. Yeah, maybe somebody really doesn't want to be, put up there on the screen. That's a possibility too. Some people are very shy. So Brad says I should be fan of the week. Well, we got many weeks to go. I'm sure who's ever on here right now will be fan of the week at some point coming up soon. So Tom says keep it clean, LOL. Small little quick little disclaimer, and then yeah, it'll be fun. Michael, if you're still on here, let me know. Oh, Michael says, where would we send our photos to? chillernighttheater.com, or you could even send it to me on yeah, you could do that through the email. There's an email service there. You could do that. Or if you're on Facebook, you can just message the picture to me. That's not a problem. David says Brad should be fan of the week. Yeah, I see Brad coming up here. So actually, I see everybody who's on here every week being a fan of the week. I'd love to get all of you on here. Corpus is showing me some icons indicating time, so we know our time is short here. And then David says, or I read that one. Cassandra says whatever that means. I'm sorry. I don't know what Corpus said should be the fan of the week. Well, let's do, yes, let's go. This should be how we could just select them this way, too. That's kind of fun. Brad says 5 minutes until Chiller Night Theater. David says group shot of the week. Oh, that'd be cool. We could actually do that at Gross Fest. That would be fun. That'd be fun. We could get a group of us, whoever can make it there. Of course, I know that we got people living all over here, but that'd be fun. So, Michael, if you do want to be fan of the week next week, send me something here. Send me a picture. If you're doing that, just let me know that that's okay with you. And if you want to, then we'll do that. And of course, we'll be doing the share contest once again in April. So, Michael says, yeah, I'll be Fang of the week. Get back, peons. I'm famous, LOL. All right. Well, he seems to be embracing this whole fan of the week thing just fine. So that's good. And then David says, yes, Gross Fest. David said, next glass of champagne. Cheers. And then Nick says, Gross Fest. Yes, that's going to be a, that's a, like a horror and independent films and gosh, I should really have a better way of explaining this. I know Cassandra is the one who made me aware of this, but it's on Facebook. If you want to read their description, it's a celebration of independent works from independent artists, whether it be movies or books or whatnot, and that'll be on Saturday, July 20th in south of Pittsburgh. I believe it's in, am I saying that right? I don't know, in Carnegie or Washington County, somewhere down there. I know Ava and I, we already got our reservations for, we already got a room in the hotel that it's going to be in. So we are really looking forward to that. I think we'll be having a good time there. So David says that would be cool. Corpus said, but I just won the spooky lot. I feel satisfied. Okay. And then Kevin says, I'm in Franklin representing. Okay, cool. Cool. Brad says, to the Roku, LOL. Oh, yes, it's coming up. Woohoo. Corpus says, ooh, group picks at Gross Fest. Plus, we'll be doing the Chiller Night live pre-show that night. Somehow, some way, we will make sure we do it from Gross Fest that night. And then David says, I think Washington. I think you're right there. I think I saw that was in Washington County, which is just south of Pittsburgh. Cassandra, oh, is that the Facebook, is that the link to it? And then Nick says, nice, maybe I should go. Yes, you should go. It's not that far away. Corpus said 3 minutes, and then Tom says, see you all. Remember, if you don't go to sleep, you can't have nightmares. Yes. And then, oh, and then Cassandra, she sent a link to Grossfest. Okay. And then David says, my middle name is Franklin. David Franklin. Oh, okay, cool. And then, all right, folks. Well, let's enjoy Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat throughout the night, all night long. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be scary. We're going to have some frightening fun here in a few minutes on Stream TV. That's streammedia.tv, streammedia.tv. And thank you once again. I think this is fun. This was a fun show here tonight. And we'll get Michael all prepped to be the fan of the week, the Chiller Night fan of the week for next week on Stream TV. So that'll be fun. So I hope you guys like that. We'll just choose somebody every week to do that. I think that'll be fun. And we'll get some phone calls from you guys every once in a while. I think that'll be a neat idea too to include into the show as well. And then Cassandra says, I want to see everyone at Grossfest. I think that'd be really, really cool. I would like that as well. Jack Shadow will be there. I will be there. Ava will be there. Or the Witch will be there. So we will see you all, as many as we can. And I will be ending this for the night. So have a good night. Have a good Chiller night. We'll see you next week.